Hello everybody, hope you're all having a reasonable week. Mine's been a bit hard, but anyway. Today I'm going to be reviewing the album by Magic called Don't Kill the Magic. Ha! Funny. So let's get right into it. Well, I guess I should show you the packaging. This is the CD, front, back, track list, pretty standard. You got the leaflet thingy in here, then you got You don't have lyrics, which is a bit of a shame, but oh well. Oh, then you got the obligatory portrait of all of the band members. Some kind of meaningful thing, I don't know. Pretty cool, pretty standard. I don't think I'll be doing that kind of thing in all of these reviews, but eh. You learn as you go. My overall thoughts of the album, I absolutely love it. I have not been able to stop listening to it actually. I'm pretty sure I know every single song off by heart. Probably maybe one or two, I don't really know, but anyway. Things I like about the album. I love the arrangements. I think they're really interesting and I think they're very musical. They are obviously great musicians. There's a lot of good musicianship going on there. Nasri, the lead singer, his vocals are awesome. Like, they're impeccable. I love the tone of his voice. It's got a very tenor quality to it. I mean, he obviously is a tenor, but it's just very rich. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. And he is a great songwriter as well. I remember seeing an interview of him and I think it was the drummer or the guitarist, I don't remember. I think it was the drummer. He basically said that he did most of the songwriting. I think that's what he said. Prove me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong. Anyway, but he did write the song Rude, and their lead single, and I love that song. I think it's great. The interviewer actually asked him, is Rude from personal experience or did you just write it from is it completely fabricated? Like, is it a completely fictional situation? He said that it was just completely fictional. And I was like, wow, as a songwriter, that's really cool. I really admire that about him because he's a good songwriter. I think he's done stuff with Shakira as well. They did a song on her new album called Cut Me Deep. The band Magic actually features on that track. It's really good, you should check it out. Anyway, sorry about that, I got on a bit of a tangent. Where was I? So, anyway, yeah, Nasri, great. And the rest of the musicians are obviously really great. I really love the style of the album, like the kind of reggae fusion rock pop thing going on. I love it. Really, nowadays, unless it's electronic music, it's kind of hard to tell exclusively what something is nowadays because there's a lot of things jam-packed into everything. It's hard for songs to be exclusive nowadays. That's just how I view it. Anyway, it's probably not right for everything, but anyway. But yeah, the reggae fusion kind of really just kind of simple but really effective stuff is so refreshing to hear after all the doof music that's been going around. I call the electronic kind of house music doof music because it's just easy and it makes sense. One thing I forgot to mention is that in that same interview that I mentioned earlier, they said that they take a lot of influence from The Police, which is Sting's old band, which is really cool because it's good stuff and it's just really good solid music that doesn't make your ears bleed. I love how the album has a lot of variety within it. It's not all reggae. There are some rocky tracks, there are some more mellow kind of tracks, although some of those mellow tracks kind of have that same kind of reggae kind of groove, like I don't know. It's not all one level. There's a lot of variety in there. One thing that I did find in this while listening to this album was usually I listen to an album, you know, track 1 to track whatever. This has 11 tracks. I listen to it from beginning to end because it just makes sense. What I also pay attention to is the effect of the album overall, so the journey that it takes you from track 1 to track whatever. So that's what I look for. In my opinion, track order can make a lot of difference to an album. I won't go so far as to say it makes or breaks an album, although sometimes it does. But I mean, I don't think it does in this case. One thing that I did find a bit iffy was tracks 2 to 6 are all in G minor. That's 5 consecutive songs in the same key. To be honest, I'm not really sure how I feel about it, because they can kind of get away with it because the arrangements are all really interesting. There are some similarities, but they're not all completely similar, that the 5 consecutive tracks in the same key thing is so obvious. I would think that the band considered that. Maybe they didn't, I don't know. But being the good musicians they are, they probably would have thought, oh, these 5 tracks are all in the same key, man. You know, like, maybe we should think about that. But overall, I actually do think that the album does make sense from beginning to end. I mean, I'm not saying that there's like a clear, like an underlying story that goes with this album or anything like that, but it works as an album. I think all 11 tracks work together consecutively. Another thing I really liked about this album is the lyrics. As a songwriter, I listened to the lyrics, and here we go again with talking about Nasri's songwriting skills and the band's songwriting skills. But I think there's just a lot of really solid storytelling. Like, for instance, the song Paradise. Once upon a time, a lonely boy went fishing, heard about a little mermaid cast away, saw a little bit of fin and started swimming. She disappeared in the sunlight once again. He's got really nice words. He uses his words well. The choruses are catchy, the verses are catchy, and the little vocal lines in the background are just really effective. I think they're really cool. I love his use of fourths and fifths in the harmonies, which in basic musical voicing and stuff, consecutive fifths and fourths, not so much fourths, but consecutive fifths can be a little bit frowned upon. Consecutive fourths as well in harmonies. But, you know, it works. I think it's great. I think it's just a really, really good album. So now I'm going to tell you my top 3 tracks. These are in no particular order. My first favourite track was the namesake of the album, Don't Kill the Magic. I think this is a really cool track. I love it. It's got a really nice mood to it, and I love the music video that goes along with it as well. That also really suits the mood of it. It's just a little bit romantic, but it's also a bit edgy as well. I really like the little guitar picking at the beginning of the track, like the dun 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 dun. Yeah, that was not in tune, but you get the point. Yeah, so I really like that track. My second favourite track is probably my favourite track on the entire album, Mama Didn't Raise No Fool. I love this song. It's got such... sorry, I just love it so much. It's in one of my favourite keys, E major / C sharp minor. It's got such a catchy chorus, the arranging, I love that. Whoa, I love that. That is so cool. Just the little melodic things that he does in it, and it's rocky, and it's something you can blast from your car, and it's just, oh, I love it so much. So good. My third favourite track, I couldn't really decide. It's a tie between Rude, which is their single, and Paradise. I've loved Rude ever since it came out. Like, when I first heard it, I was like, man, this band's cool. Like, I love the reggae kind of feel to it, and I love the lyrics, and I think it's just such a cool kind of story. Catchy, again. But I also love Paradise because it's a little bit rockier than Rude, but that doesn't mean that one's better than the other. Still, it's rockier than Rude, and like I mentioned before, it's got a really cool story behind it. The whole boy wanting to fall in love with a mermaid and going to her paradise. Oh, I just realised all the innuendos that could be taken with that, going to her paradise. Okay, right, well, moving on. I still love that song. Now, I will tell you my least favourite track of the album. And this I didn't find hard at all. I think it's not an awful track, but I just didn't really like it, didn't do much for me. It's called One Woman, One Man. This is the ballad of the album. I found it very boring. It has the same chord progression throughout. Then again, so do some of the other tracks, but still, this was just, it had a boring melody. It was boringly arranged. Actually, no, some of the arranging aspects of it I did like the kind of climatic thing at the end, like where he goes like, one woman, one man, one woman, one man, all that. I think that's pretty cool. But overall, I just found it boring and repetitive. Ballads are slow and, you know, sentimental and all that crap. I just found it a very boring ballad. I'm just gonna say it. He's got some cool melodic aspects in there, and it does create a nice contrast to the overall album, like I did say before. It's all about, I like how it's got a good contrast. It was kind of the mellow point of the album. I also think it was the low point, musically and lyrically and arrangementingly. But you get the idea. It didn't do much for me. That concludes my album review. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you've listened to the album and you have generated some thoughts, let me know what they are in the comments down below. I don't know what I just did with my eyes, but hopefully it came off well. I don't know. I will see you guys later. Hopefully you enjoyed. See you later. Bye bye.